Hi, it's your friendly neighborhood VTuber Suvi here again with a new tutorial. Ever since I released the Twitch integration for VTubers some weeks ago, you guys have been sending me questions on how to get it working with VSeeFace without the redeems either restarting or flickering. So today I'm going to show you guys how to create a Twitch redeem for VSeeFace that works with my Twitch integration. So today we are going to create a redeem kind of animation for VSeeFace. Basically, it's an animation that will execute once and then deactivate itself, instead of deactivating when the blend shape is deactivated. Before you watch today's tutorial, I highly recommend you check out the main tutorial where I go through how to use my Twitch integration. I have linked it up there so you can check it out. For today's tutorial, as always, you will need Unity 2019.4.31 and then the latest version of VSeeFace SDK, as well as whatever UniVRM version is required by the latest VSeeFace SDK. Last time I checked it was 0.89, but make sure to check this before. Okay, let's get started with the tutorial then. Okay, so once you have imported UniVRM and VSF SDK as well as your avatar and added the avatar to the scene, we can get started. So the first step is to create the actual redeem. So we're going to create something very simple, like maybe like a box hitting our avatar's head. And after that, we are going to build a more complicated system around it. So let's start by creating the simple redeem. So to our avatar's head, let's create an empty. And we shall just call this redeem 1, like so. And then to this one, we will create a box. So let's just create a cube, scale it down a little bit. Now, of course, feel free to use any kind of a redeem or any kind of animation you want for this. I have plenty of tutorials showing you guys how to do different kinds of things, so do check those out. So we shall move the box to a default state like this. And next, we should just animate it hitting the avatar's head. So we shall do that by first creating a temporary animator. I already have one here, so I'm going to be using this. So click play mode. And as soon as you enter the play mode, simply drag the temporary animator you created on your avatar like so. And now your avatar is kind of in the default state. Next, we will need to create the animation. So make sure you have both the animator and the animation visible. You can get those visible from the window, animation, and then click both the animator and the animation. Okay, so next thing, go to the animation tab, select your avatar, and this will allow us to create the animation. So just click here and then create new clip. Otherwise, the button may appear somewhere here. So let's create a new redeem, and we shall just call this redeem. And let's add it to our animations folder. Let's call it DNI redeem 1. So basically, do not interact. So the point is that you will not be accidentally turning this animation on from VSeeFace. So let's create this one first. And now let's click the record button like so. And then we will simply make the box fall on our avatar. Now, if you lose the focus on the actual thing, simply click your avatar again and select the correct animation and lock the animation like this, and then click record. And now we can select the box and make it fall down. So first, let's set the starting position like so. And then we should be able to move to the end of the frame somewhere like this, and then make it simply hit the character's head like so. Now, what we can also do is add a little bit of bounce to it. like so. And in the end, we can also make it return back where it came from. So let's just copy the keys from the first frame and put them somewhere here, like so. So now basically we have an animation. Now, of course, feel free to do something actually decent with the animations. Anyway, let us leave the play mode and then we are done with the basic redeem. Now, the next step is to create a blend shape for this. So let us go to our blend shape index. You can do this by selecting your avatar, scrolling down until you find the blend shape avatar here. Just double click that one. And now we're going to create a new clip. And for this first clip, we shall also call it do not interact redeem one. And let's save it. Now, why do we call it DNI? Means basically so that you do not by accident put this into any hotkeys in your VSeeFace. Otherwise, it will not work as intended. Now, at the same time, we shall create another blend shape, and this time we shall call it redeem one. So now this one will be the actual blend shape that we will be activating in VSeeFace. Okay, so let us go to our avatar and then find your VSF animations component. If you don't have this, you can add it through the avatar component and then add the VSF animations. Okay, now we will add both of those here, basically. So first of all, let's bind the DNI redeem, and we shall bind that to the same animation we just created, like so. Okay, so if you were to now test this in VSeeFace, and you would actually activate this redeem, it would make it work. But this is not what we want. We don't want to have this like a toggleable animation. We want it to play once and then disable itself. So next step we should also do is adjust the animation so that it doesn't loop. So find the animation you saved earlier, select it, and click off the loop time, like so. Okay, the next step for us is to build the actual system around this, which makes it play once and then deactivate itself. And now this will be new stuff to most of you, and it will be quite complicated. So feel free to watch this multiple times until you get the idea of what is going on. So the first step is to select our avatar, and we're going to create a new empty here. And let's name this node as redeem animator, like so. And to this specific component, we will need to add a new animator controller. So let's create a new animation controller here by right-clicking, then create an animator controller, and let's call it redeem animator, like so. And now we will drag this redeem animator to this redeem animator object here. So let's simply drag and drop it here. And now we have a new animator here. Okay, so the next step is something that you will need to repeat for all the redeems you want to use, or which you want to use this new system for. So let's create a new empty here, and we will call this redeem one. And under this redeem one, we will need to create 3 different game objects. We will need to create one that turns on the whole system. So let's call it redeem one turn on. And then we will need one to turn things off. So same thing. Redeem one turn off. And then we will need one that is called when the redeem is active. So let's call it redeem one active. Okay. And now to make this magic happen is that we will need to first do some stuff here. So to the redeem one active node, let's add a component. And then we need to search for VSF set blend shape clip, this one. And now this is something that whenever this node is active, it will then again turn on another blend shape value. So to this blend shape clip name, we will set the do not interact redeem1. And we will set the value to 1. So whenever this specific game object is active, it will activate our main redeem that we created earlier. Okay, next step we will set this node inactive. The next thing is to turn things on. So let's go to the turn on game object. And to this one we will add a component, and this time it's going to be set animator boolean. And to the target animator, we will drag the new animator thing, so the redeem animator. Simply drag that to the animator like so. To the boolean parameter, let's simply call it redeem1. And then parameter value, let's click it on like so. So basically now whenever this object gets turned on, it will set our animator's parameter called redeem1 to true. And now we will turn this off as well, and then we will repeat this to the turn off. So let's add a component, then again the animator bool, and then we will drag the animator here, and then type the redeem1 here. And this time we set it off like so. And again we deactivate this. Okay, and now we will need to create an actual animator layer and parameter and so on. So let's select the redeem animator object like so. And now click the animator tab. And now we are in the actual animator. And to make things work, we will need to first go to the parameters. And let's add a new parameter. And add a boolean parameter. And we will call it redeem1. Like so. And next thing, let's go to the layers. And we will need to add a new layer. So click on the plus and let's call this redeem1. Like so. And then click on the icon here and then make sure it's set to also override and then set the weight to 1. Like so. And now we will need to create the animator layer. So simply right click here and create empty. And this will be called redeem1 off. So this is our default state. And next thing, let's create a new empty here. And this will be called redeem1 on. Like so. And now we will want to create transitions between these. So right click here, make transition and drag it all the way here. And then repeat that, make transition and back here. And now select the transition from off to on. You can click the has exit time off. You don't need that one. You can also go to the settings and set the transition duration to 0, like so. And next step is to set a condition. So click on the plus here next to the conditions. And then make sure to select the redeem1 boolean value, and the value is true. So whenever this redeem1 is on, it will move to the second state. And now let's go to the adder transition and let's repeat it here. So exit time off, transition time 0, and then conditions, make sure to select the redeem1 again, and now set it false. So whenever this redeem boolean value sets false, we go back to the default state. Okay. Now we will actually need to create animations to toggle these things. So what we want to happen is that whenever this thing sets on, we will actually turn this object here on. So let us go back to the scene and select the redeem animator. Then go to the animation right here. And now we can create a new animation. So click on the create and let's call it redeem1 on. Like so. And now we can click record. And then we can go here and then we shall first make sure that we go to the redeem active and then we will activate this like so. You can go to the second frame and repeat it as as well. Okay, so now whenever we play this animation, it will turn the active state on. Now you can click off the record mode like so. And now what we do is go back to the animator, make sure to select the redeem animator game node, go to the redeem one on, and to the animation we shall set the redeem one on, like so. Now you could test this out obviously in Unity by going to the play mode and then just adjusting the parameters. We could try this out by simply click play and then select the redeem one animator, go to the animator, and as you can see currently it is playing the redeem one off. Now if we go to the parameters tab and we click on this one, it should move to the second one, which is now then setting the blend shape value to 1. Okay, now we can leave the play mode. Now we still need to create animations that turn these things on and off. And how do we do this? Basically, we will need to add them to our main avatar's animations. So first of all, enter the play mode, and we will again be utilizing the temporary animator we created earlier. So drag the temporary animator when you are in play mode on your avatar, like so. Find your avatar again. And let's first create the animation that will turn things on. So select your avatar, go to the animation, then let's create a new animation clip, and we shall call this redeem one turn on, like so. And now let's again lock the animator like so, and then click on record button. And next thing, we will go and animate this redeem one on, like so. Now we can go to the second frame, do the same thing. And after that, we could just turn it off because one frame is already enough to set this parameter value. So we can just animate it here to set it off. It is not necessary, but you can do that. Okay, and then we can leave the record mode again, like so. And next thing is we need to also make this thing turn off. And the easiest way to do this is actually edit the main redeem we did earlier. So let's find the DNI redeem one. And now at the very end of this animation, we could then activate the turn off. So let us click the record button and go to the very last frame of our animation where we want the animation to end. And then let's activate this turn off here, like so. And you can make one extra frame where you then turn it off again. It is again not necessary, but you can do that. So now basically at the very end of this animation, we should be basically setting our animator controller's value off, which should then kind of unwrap all this whole thing. And now let's leave the record mode. Okay, and also leave the play mode. And now finally, we will need to create a new blend shape. Or if you created it earlier like we did, that should also work. So let us go to our avatar and we shall add yet another blend shape to our VSF animations component. This time we select the redeem one that we created earlier, and to the animation we will then set the redeem one turn on, like so. So now basically this system should work. So you can export your avatar to VSeeFace and bind this redeem one blend shape to a hotkey and set it to be press instead of toggle and see what happens. So let's try that next. Let's export our avatar. Now in VSeeFace, you may have noticed that it is actually not correctly working and is automatically playing. Now this may happen whenever you create an animation it may get added by default to also to the base layer in your animator. So if you go back to Unity and select your redeem animator, and then go to the animator and then to the base layer, if it does have your animation here, then do select it and click delete. This will make it so that this will not keep playing. Now another thing I did notice was that our head redeem is actually not hidden by default. So what we need to also fix is set the default state of the actual box to off, and then let us again go to the play state and we will fix the animation. So do drag the temporary animator again to your avatar, and then to the animation tab, let's find our DNI redeem 1, and we need to make it so that we actually set the box visible. So in the very first frame, select your redeem, toggle it on like so, and then you can go to the next frame and repeat the same step like so. So now our box will actually be visible. Okay. Also remember to record it. Okay, now you can leave the record and play mode as well, like so. And next, let's try exporting the avatar again and see if it works better this way. And now we can test this out in VSeeFace by going to the settings, expression settings. And now there are two redeems. There is of course the DNI. Now if we were to test this, we could set it to some hotkey like so. We can activate it and then we can turn it off like so. But the actual magic happens if we use the redeem 1. Now for this one you will want to set it to hold instead of toggle, because we only want to click it once. So I have bound it to F12, so let's try what's happening. As you can see, it plays once and then it deactivates itself. Now we can click it again and it does it, and so on. Now if you click multiple times during the execution, it will not turn off or restart. It will simply play once. So now you could basically bind this to a Twitch redeem that is done through VMC protocol, for example using my Twitch integration or any other way that sends a VMC packet. Or you can have it on your Stream Deck as well as a hotkey that you simply click once to start the animation. I hope you liked today's tutorial. And remember that you still need to configure the Twitch integration, of course. So I recommend you check the previous tutorial to see how that is done. You basically need to create an action that turns on the blend shape, and then maybe half of your normal redeems time, then turn the blend shape value off with the action as well. That should probably do the trick just fine. If you encounter any issues, we do have a Confi Discord where you can ask all those questions. You can find it in the description below as well. Anyway, if you like the content, consider subscribing down below, as well as following me on all the other social medias as well. Anyway guys, see you next time. Bye bye!